Hi, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Today, as promised, I wanted to tell you about the first time that I met my spirit guides. When I started on this journey, I was led to take a class, a channeling class, with a lady named Betsy Morgan, who teaches a class called Orion Channeling. And if it's something you're interested in, it's a wonderful class and I highly recommend it. You can find it online, I believe, or ask me and I can help you find out how to get to it. She teaches you how to go in and find out who your personal guides are. And when you're doing this, she, tells you that you're going to feel silly and just it's okay, and it's okay to pretend, and it's not a big deal, and just to go with it. So when you're doing it, you're thinking, okay, I don't know if I'm really doing this. So I go in and I'm pretty imaginative and I think, okay, I'm whatever. So I go in and it's just in your head. You're just imagining this and you're thinking it. And so there's a process you go through when you're thinking, and you go in, and I'm up in the spirit realm and I think, and she says, envision the first person, and you go through and you introduce yourself. And one of my first guides was Archangel Michael. And of course, in my head, I'm thinking, of course, I pick one of the biggest, icons. I can't pick a little unknown somebody. I'm thinking I'm just making this up in my head and I'm just being really creative. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. So Archangel Michael, and of course, he's this big, hunky, gorgeous angel guy. And so I ask him, you're supposed to ask him, do I know you? And he says, yes, you do know me. And he said, we've worked together for eons and you're a great healer and we're really good friends. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, do you have anything for me? And he said, yes. And he handed me a rose, and then he handed me a puppy, and then he handed me a kitten. And I was like, well, what are you doing? And he said, I'm handing you everything that you love because I love you very much. And I'm so proud of you for taking on this task, and I'm here for you, and I'm so glad that you've awakened and you're ready to do this, and I love you very much. And I just was like, oh wow. And when you're in that state, you totally feel the energy, you totally feel the love, and it's so hard to explain until you feel it. And when I channel with you, I guarantee you will feel the energy, and it is amazing. So anyway, so that was Michael, and I was just like, oh, and in my head I'm thinking, oh wow, I thought, wow, I'm pretty popular, huh? And I just thought, wow, anyway, I just thought I was making the whole thing up. So then the next person was this kind of Egyptian looking guy, like in a white robe, like a Egyptian priest, an older Egyptian, from back a long time ago, Egyptian priest. And I said, what's your name? And he said his name was Serapis Bey. And I knew that name from my oracle cards, but I don't know who that is. Like I don't know that from a memory or from history or anything like that, but he had been in my oracle cards. And he is a master healer, and I kind of knew that a little bit. And he said, yes, he said, we've worked together for a long time, for millennia, and you're a master healer, and we're very good friends. And I said, oh, okay. I think, oh, I just hang out with all the big wigs is what I'm thinking. And I said, oh, well, do you have anything for me? And he said, yes. And he gave me a hug, and then he punched me on the shoulder, and he said, okay, it's time to get off your lazy ass. You've been on vacation long enough. You've got work to do. And I was like, okay. So he kind of treated me like a little sister, and kind of like, okay, time to get to work. Because, I'm 53 years old, and up till now I've just been lounging around on earth, not doing my job, basically, is what he was saying. And so that was just kind of funny. But the energy was amazing. I mean, I could feel his love for me. I could feel that he was ready to help me, and he was super excited, and he loved me, and he wanted to support me. Of course, I'm thinking, I just thought I was really high on myself. I thought, wow, I'm pretty stuck on myself. I've just got all this love from these, important people or beings. So Then the third person comes up, and it's a young black girl in her early 20s, and beautiful, beautiful black curly hair. She's in a white gown, kind of like an angel. You'd imagine an angel wearing, but she didn't have wings. She wasn't an angel, but she was just a beautiful, beautiful young girl. And I said, "Do I know you?" And she said, "No, you don't know me, but you know my mother." And I said, "Oh, who is your mother?" And then she said something in a language or a sound or something that I couldn't say. It's like not English. And I said, "Oh, I don't remember your mother." And up to now, I had some kind of an emotional connection or feeling, you know, with Archangel Michael and with Serapis Bay. I felt something, and with her, I really didn't. So I felt kind of bad. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember your mother." And she said, "That's okay. You know, my mother remembers you, and you guys were very good friends, and she loves you, and she misses you, and she's very proud of you, and she hopes, you know, she can't wait to see you again, basically." And I said, do you have anything for me?" And she said, "Yes." And she had this gold bangle bracelet with stones on it. And the minute she put it in my hand, I had this immediate, overwhelming, emotional response. I cannot describe it. I had so much emotion and love, and I just started weeping in real life and crying. I was just crying and crying and crying. And if I would have been standing up, I would have fallen to my knees. It was so intense and so overwhelming in a beautiful way. And I immediately knew her mother on a spiritual level. I don't remember her mother. I can't tell you what her mother looks like. But in my vision, I hugged her and I was crying, and I said, "Oh my gosh, tell your mother that I love her very much. Tell her that I miss her and I cannot wait to see her again." And the emotion that I had, I just can't even explain it. It was so emotional. That moment, that's when I knew I was really channeling. I wasn't making it up. That came out of nowhere. I mean, nowhere. Again, I don't know who her mother is. I've since come to believe that she's probably from my home planet or my one of my past lives, and we're probably very, very good friends. And I'm hoping that soon I do have some recollection of her, or that we meet again. And maybe she's reincarnated and she's here with me now, and I just haven't realized it yet. But she, it was beautiful, and I can't even explain it. And that was my first experience with channeling, and it was amazing. And like I said, I felt bad at first because I thought, gosh, I really have no connection with this poor young lady. And she was very excited to be my guide. She was really excited. You know, she kept saying, "Oh my gosh, I heard so much about you, and I'm so excited to be working with you." And I remember thinking, wow, I don't have any connection with you. But then when she gave me that bracelet, I just was like, whoa. And so it's just undescribable. And that was my first experience. So I'm very anxious and excited for you to have the same kind of experiences. And since then, I've had many more experiences. My experiences are very unique for my personality and for my past lives and my history. And as you get to know me, you'll learn how they're kind of different for me. And my personality and how my guides talk to me is a little bit different. And it's fun. I love it. So I'm really excited to share all that with you. And I hope that you join me on this journey. And if you would like for me to do a reading for you or find out who your spirit guides are, I would be happy to do that. Just put a comment down below, and I can try and contact you or find out some information so I can do that for you. I will see you next time. Thank you. With love and light.